And we are live. All right. Let us see. Please, would you, since you are our guest today, would you please introduce yourself to everyone so they can know who it is we're having the pleasure of talking with?
Well, thanks, Richard. I'm Dennis Maloney, the publisher at Heroic Publishing. Um, I do comic books, and thank you for having me on. It's a good opportunity to maybe introduce the Heroic Publishing books to people who aren't familiar with them.
That
And
is that to me is a shame because the Heroic Publishing Comics, you guys are the longest running independent shared universe, are you not?
I don't know that that's true. We started doing stuff in '86, and I think Southern Nights certainly was out there before we were doing them, and I'm sure there were some others. But we've been around for a long time, as you observe. We're celebrating our 40th year this year. 1986 to 2026 is like a difference of 40. So, you
Yeah.
know, I'm just happy that I've been able to do it, off and on for as long as I have. There've been gaps, but we keep coming back.
It is one of the things that I whenever y'all do Kickstarters, I jump in as soon as I can, make sure I've got all the money in and everything's that my disability will hit at the right time. So whenever the payment comes in, it will go through.
Well, thank you. I noticed that you came in today on our Tigris Kickstarter. This is what is today? It's the 11th, April 11th.
Yes, it is.
Our Tigris Kickstarter only has like 3 days to go. It's winding down. But thank you for coming in, and there will be more to follow. Yeah.
That is that right there is something that I think is how to do it. You guys set up, get the everything lined up, and it's a model that I was thinking about trying my best to duplicate for my own comic book project, which was the Queensmen. But I am just Liberty Girl is so far been one of my favorites that you guys have been putting out.
Thank
Every
you.
time it pops up, boom, I'm right there to put my money down because I love the fact that she is an inspirational character that promotes everything good about this country and the little bits and pieces of her background that you guys have put into it that ties back to some of my favorite older properties that I just adore. That
No,
and her dad is one of my longtime heroes that my grandfather used to give me old books of those adventures.
ah, her
And
father who shall not be named, and
exactly,
till he comes into public domain, then we're going to go to town.
yes. And I can't wait because that I think that's going to be fun. Uh, I'm just really excited that it's proving that a character from a golden age era type character can be brought to now and still be just as relevant then as she was back then.
Yes, that was actually what I had in mind. That was the whole point. Um, and let me just, just as an aside, give the Russo brothers credit for how they handled Captain America in
Yes.
the second Captain America movie. They did not compromise with Steve Rogers' character at all.
Hmm.
And I loved that. I mean, I didn't. The movie could have been a little better, but the way they treated Cap,
Yes.
just, just right.
It Winter Soldier was a sequel that was as good as the previous movie. It it actually can stand on its own.
Hmm.
Where the speech that Cap gives when he's letting Shield know that Hydra has infiltrated the organization and that he knew he was not alone to stand up against Hydra, and how you saw all the Shield agents doing this number, trying to figure out who was on, who was still Shield and who was Hydra.
Hmm.
And then when they started rushing out to go and give Cap backup, that was chef's kiss, you know?
Yes. Yes.
And
But let's stop talking about Marvel.
yes, let's get back to Liberty Girl, because one of the questions I had about her powers being psycho organic. Now, when she uses her powers, she switches between super strength or flight, or, well, it's not invulnerability, but it is kind of a bulletproofness aspect. But she also used it to create the force field
Yes.
that contained the Jinn, and how much it took out of her to do it. Now,
She has, well, let me just say that she has all of those abilities at any given time at low levels. What she can do is she can shift energy into manifesting it in one particular way. So if she makes herself really strong, she can't fly. Right. If she does that force field, then she loses strength. She loses the near invulnerability. So it's something she can shift around, but in most instances, she will maintain it at that low level.
yes,
Um, as you saw in the most recent issue, um, she needs to turn it off occasionally, because if she
yes.
maintains it, it starts, losing strength. It has to recharge. So,
Also, she's got to build up her own physical strength,
right.
both
Mhm.
physically and mentally and emotionally. And I was actually wondering, since you are her creator, I've got a theory, because after they stop the Jinn with her using the force field to capture it, after he and puts him in the little lockbox, and she's exhausted. But
You're
as she,
talking about the story that appeared in Liberty Girl #5 for people who don't know where they can find this.
yes,
But
uh,
please continue with your question.
she gives a speech, and as the she starts gaining strength, as the crowd starts feeling what she feels, and amplifying the ideals that she was speaking about. It makes me wonder, is there the possibility that she's also got low level empathic ability, to where the people around her that believe in her give her extra strength from their beliefs?
You picked up on that, did you? Yes. The simple answer is yes. With any inspirational, the idea is only as strong as the people who believe in it, right? And Liberty Girl reflects that to some extent. Yes, she
That
is. She is an inspirational figure, as you said at the very beginning of this.
Hey Sylvia, you're a lovely artist. It is great to see you. uh, Mr. Dennis, this is Silva. She is part of my friend Tony Stark of Iron's channel. She is one of our the artists in residence on Tony's channel,
Hi, Silva.
and hopefully everybody will get to make it for the during the live stream. If not, they do watch it in the rewind, as we call it.
Hmm.
Uh, and like I said, I've this is also simulcasting to Rumble. After this is over with, I'll send you I'll figure a way of sending you the the video so you can upload it anywhere you want.
We'll upload it to our Heroic Voice channels on YouTube and Rumble.
All
Um,
right, because you're doing me this great favor, and I am very grateful to you, and I want to say thank you again. It's the fact that you've worked for all. I think you've worked for all of the big comic book companies, haven't you?
no, I've never actually. We did have a project. I've worked some with Marvel. I did some Avengers stories in Avengers Spotlight, a couple of other things with them. I actually put together um, the original formatting for um, they did in the 80s. There was like a who's who of Marvel. I forget what they called it. It was their equivalent of DC's Who's Who, and
The
I
Marvel handbook, the official handbook
handbook.
of the Marvel
Yes, yeah,
universe.
I did some of
I've
those
got it right
entries, and
over
I
there.
created the format for them. Um, but with DC, we had some projects on tap that never got off the ground. We were going to do a Creeper revival, and that never happened, which is sad because they destroyed the Creeper when they did revive him.
Hmm.
But so no, the answer is no, not with all of them, at least not yet.
Well, here's hoping, because I really enjoy your writing and your creativity. And what get I mean, reading through the hold on, let me pull this back up. The the Patriot collection, which was the archives that you just did the
Yeah.
Kickstarter for.
How many pages was that? 440, I think. And
Yes, 440. And
and it has every appearance of the Liberty Girl to date is included in there. So I would recommend that people get hold of that if you want to find out about the Liberty Girl.
oh yes,
No better way.
it is amazing. Hey, Sassy Spider Angel Dust, how you doing, Sassy? This is another of our Stark of Iron uh, community slash family. It's one of the things I refer to. Started it on the Doomcock channel. That we're not a community, we're a family, because whenever somebody is in need, we get together and we do. Tony will do a Stark Relief Foundation where we raise money to help people that are in need by doing mini telethons. This just the way we do it.
Hi, Sassy.
And but uh, you've got forewords by Roy Thomas, Billy Tucci, and Tony Isabella, and the artwork is amazing. It's even got a little bit of the history about where Liberty Girl came from, and it talks about where your universe got its start from playing the Champions RPG while you guys were in school. Uh,
True. Yes.
and so when it comes to champions, my first champions character was actually given to me by someone at a SciCon in Virginia Beach right after I got in the Navy, because I could not figure out for the life of me how to make a character.
Hmm.
And there was this guy there that was wearing a Greek fisherman's cap, kind of heavy set with a beard and little glasses, who a lot of people know because he wrote some books that got turned into a TV show that ended kind of weird. Uh, have I given enough hints about who it was who created my first Champions character yet?
You talking about Mike, or are you talking about somebody else?
Uh, GRRM.
Oh, yeah, George R. Martin. I know George. He's great. Yeah.
And because he helped me make a character that was a combination of Nightcrawler and the Guardian from Alpha Flight as my
Uh-huh.
first character.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to George in a long time. I hope he hasn't passed away while I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, my son is also in the audience. That's Swollen Salad. Hi, son. It's
oh,
okay. He is coming to us all the way from the UK. In fact, right now they're on a holiday trip, and the pictures that he sent me is where they're at is gorgeous. Though he did wake me up at 5 o'clock this morning with him. Uh, but yes, hearing from my son's always a good thing.
Well, the thing about Champions is that if you're playing it and you're creating scenarios, it gives you some practical experience in creating stories,
Yes,
also in adapting to unexpected events that may occur in the story. It's maybe a good training ground, and maybe it has its negatives too. You've got to be careful. One thing is that I came from a literary background before I started playing Champions, right? So it was a good exercise for me. But it wasn't Champions that taught me how to write. I mean, that was there are people who learn, and there are people who just have the talent for it. And there are unfortunately some people who try to write who never really learn how to do it. And unfortunately, a lot of them are working in comics these days.
yeah, that's been my issue. I mean, tell the story first before you try to send out your message.
Well, I would phrase it a little bit differently. Right? If you're going to tell a story, the first thing you need to know is how it begins.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing you need to know is where you would like it to end up,
Yeah,
and you need to be ready to change that a bit as you go along the way, because as you go along, you may find some things that you weren't expecting.
exactly. That's the whole thing that I love about role playing games. You develop your character, and as the game progresses, your character will develop. It will change. It will grow.
Yep.
And if you're a good enough writer, so will the characters you're writing. Um, I'm trying to remember. If I remember right, when I remember reading Tracy Hickman and Margaret West when they were talking about when they created Dragonlance, that they used the D&D game to help shape it. Or
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
could be
surprise me a bit. But most of the characters in the comics, the heroic publishing comics, came out of had their genesis in the Champions role playing game. It's not true of all of them, but the Liberty Girl did not come out of the Champions role playing game. For example, she came full blown. I knew the character that I wanted to do. It was just a matter of doing it. As you'll find if you read that Patriot collection, the first reference to Elena appeared 12 years before she first appeared in the comics. So I knew long ago, that I wanted to tell stories about this character.
my son said the thing I love about tabletop RPGs is that everyone involved is a writer, so they can all come together to make the perfect story.
Or try to.
Yep, and that's the collaborative nature of role playing games. That if you record it, you can then turn around and take that as uh, an outline for writing a book.
Well, Jefferson P. Swikaffer did that. I don't know if you're aware of this, but before I did comic books, I published a fantasy science fiction illustrated magazine called Fantasy Book.
Hmm.
And one of our principal writers toward the end was Jeff Swikaffer, whose Space Pirates series came out of role playing games that he did. His first stories for that were direct adaptations of his Space Pirates role playing campaign. So
That is awesome. It's I I was into role playing games when I was in junior high and high school, but never got to fully play it. We just sit around and talk about it. My first real games I got to play was after I got to the Navy, and
yeah, they play a lot of games in the Navy, particularly with fledgling seamen.
Yeah, but we also we do the same thing with the Marines when they get on board ship,
Of course you do. Yeah,
and
but they deserve it.
yeah, they're they're fun. We whenever we hit the beach, it's like, all right, let's go get drunk and see who can fight the best.
We're
And
digressing, though. We should get back to Liberty Girl or any other character that you would like to talk about.
yes, one of the things that I thought was pretty cool, and the fact that her storylines are set during the Golden Age, during World War II, a little after World War II, during the beginnings stages of the Cold War, before you bring her to the now.
Hmm.
Now, in here, you was talking about the fact you've got that 15-year period of her time in the past, and the fact that you're loving working with other writers to see what stories they can tell. And it's really cool because there are creators out there that micromanage how other creators use their creations. And I love the fact that you've got the 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 strength of your convictions, that you've created Liberty Girl in such a way you're not afraid of somebody coming in and really doing something crazy with it. And
The character is strong enough that if I'm, how do I phrase this? If somebody comes to me that I trust, I'm perfectly willing to let him tell the story because the character of the Liberty Girl is so strong that you would have to deliberately get it wrong in order to get it wrong.
yes,
Right? Um, and if somebody does that, I'm not going to do that story.
yeah,
So, you know, and thus far, the extremely talented people who have actually done those older Liberty Girl stories have got it. They understand the character, they put her into a situation or a specific time, and they're writing about the Liberty Girl, right? That's what they're doing. And they know coming in that that's what I expect.
yeah. One of the things
We should
that,
mention them, right? You
yes,
mentioned Roy Thomas, you mentioned Billy Tucci. Tony Isabella has not actually written a Liberty Girl story yet, but he's my interview next week.
oh, cool.
Although I should mention that Tony has decided that he's transgender and he's now Jenny Isabella.
Mm,
So we should maybe refer to her as Jenny from this point on. But I expect her to do a Liberty Girl story at some point. Um, we've had Mike W. Barr. We had Henry Vogel and Mark Probst do a story. Mark Beecham drew a story that I wrote. Who am I missing? Do you? I hate to leave anyone out, but there's just been a number of people, and
let's
I'm
see,
sure I'm
we've
forgetting
got
somebody.
Derek Gross,
Derek Gross was the original artist. He helped me design the look of the costume.
Rob Jones,
Rob Jones wrote a story. Yes, he's also our current Liberty Girl artist.
Tim Tim
Tim
Berger,
Burgard, yeah, Tim has worked with us on a Liberty Girl story. He did a wonderful, 1953 was it? A story set in
48,
53
1948,
was
the
48. Yeah,
Durango missions,
right, 48, just after World War II.
and then the 1950s was the Flame of Hate. The art was
Mhm.
by James Webb.
Yeah,
Let's see. Then you've got art by Mark
Mark
Spar.
Sparacio. Mark Sparacio helped define the tone of those early books. He got it. He did the first three or I guess the first five issues, it was four or five issues,
Yeah.
and really help the Liberty Girl, get off the ground, so to speak. Um, you know,
Then we've got Henry Martinez
yeah,
and
Henry did an issue that was Yeah, it was helpful.
Chris Marina,
And Chris did issue 6. Yeah.
and he also did Pool Party.
Yeah, that
Henry,
was in issue 6.
all right, and Campfire Tales was by Rob Jones.
Right.
Da, da, da. Moment of Horror with Mom.
Now that was a G Girl story that was in Liberty Girl #7.
Yep, that was done by Alice Sandro.
Alessandro Scaccia.
Yep, and How I Spent My School Years by J.
Yeah, that was that
Walters.
was Adam Walters. Adam, I miss Adam. He passed away a couple of years ago. That story was the very first thing he did for us. He just did it and sent it to us, and I could never figure out how to use it until now. So we took that really old piece and I got it colored and put it in as a campfire tale in that issue of Liberty Girl.
My son is asking when can there be a crossover between Liberty Girl and American Patriot.
Well, that's kind of up to you, Richard. I'm perfectly willing to do it. You saw in that Patriot collection that there are some non-canonical Liberty Girl stories.
Yes,
So,
it's one of the things that is really impressive. During our interview, I might end up asking you questions about advice on how to get into it and uh, how much to know that I'll be paying a writer and an artist for doing these things. But since it is something that you're really awesome at doing,
well,
but
thank you.
I'm just it's like looking at the original artwork that you did of the original sketch for Liberty Girl uh, was pretty cool. I like the fact that you kept the shield aspect of the vest and went with the gold bodysuit and sleeves, which stands out because very few patriotic characters utilize gold.
Yeah, that was the fourth American color to my mind. Right.
If,
And
if you were ever in the military and you're singing cadence, we do the colors, the color of red, the color of white, the color of blue, and the color gold to show we are bold. Color of red shows the color of the blood we've shed. White shows that we're willing to fight. Blue is to show that we are true. But gold shows that we are bold.
yes,
And so, yeah, it's just really amazing. Just don't let my dad draw her. He'll make her boobs way too big. No,
yeah, the one that's on the screen is just borderline. It's a pretty picture, but she's not quite that well built.
yeah, I don't. Only times I do really big bosoms is whenever the character actually calls for it. Let's see. Let me do a quick. Here we go. This is my Queensman,
Oh,
and
international.
yep, they're based out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mhm.
Uh, the Queen City's unlikeliest heroes is their tagline. You've got the techno gadgeteer is a Canadian who moved to the United States so she could start a weapons design company. You've got Shango, who left Africa to come here because of the pact between all the old pantheons that says they can't interfere in the day-to-day lives of their former worshippers. So a lot of the pantheon demigods have left Europe and Africa and Asia and come to the United States to become superheroes. Samson is a direct descendant of the biblical Samson. Uh, the girl in blue and white, that's Rocket. She's the speedster. She's Persian American and a science teacher. The girl in back, that is American Eagle, who is the great granddaughter of the American Eagle public domain character from the Golden Age.
Uh-huh.
The guy in the middle giving the little two-finger salute, that's Daredevil. He doesn't know it, but he is the great grandson of the original Golden Age public domain Daredevil. Uh, he is a wealthy costumed thrill seeker. Do you remember the Ryan Reynolds movie Van Wilder?
No.
It's funny, it's irreverent, and that's pretty much this version of Daredevil. Is he was he actually cared about people. He just didn't act like he did.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that his college roommate was an Indian who wanted to Indian from India who wanted to be a superhero. Problem was he's a hypochondriac, agoraphobic. He's afraid of blood. He's got all these neuroses, so he can't be the superhero, even though he's invented all these gadgets to be a superhero.
Oh, I see.
And he convinces the rich boy who's been in college for the past 12 years, go ahead and graduate and become a superhero and use all my gadgets to do it.
And I assume the guy in the red, white, and blue is the character you referred to earlier?
Yes, that's the American Patriot. That's my alter ego.
Uh-huh.
The lady in red, or the woman in red, public domain. She was actually the first costume superheroine, and she's in the public domain, and she is our team's Batman. And the girl in the back is our psychokinetic. She's got telepathy, empathy, and telekinesis. She's also the team's ex-con.
A token.
She's the reason. Well, she's the team's minder from the supervillains, who basically are the reason why they got formed. Imagine Lex Luthor discovers that the Claw from the Golden Age is about to return. He goes to the Justice League and says, "Yo, you're not going to believe this, but the Claw's on his way back." And Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman just looks at him and says, "No, go away." And they're like, "Well, let's put together a team of supervillains." And Lex Luthor's going, "What? And have them stabbing me in the back the whole time?" And then one of his lieutenants, she puts her hand up, says, "Well, why don't you convince a whole bunch of like rookie heroes to form a team that will fight him whenever he shows up?"
Good plan.
and that's how they come about.
That's how they come together. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that concept.
So yeah, it's something fun, you know. And the ex-con, I'm still trying to come up with a name for her.
I'm sure you'll think of something. How about ex-con?
that would be funny.
Yeah. So, do you have any? You've read all of the Liberty Girl stories at this point. Do you have any specific questions other than the ones you've already asked?
Well, one of the things, the fact that she's been in the Golden Age, she was kept on the home front.
She did not go to Europe. She did visit the Pacific Theater a few times.
Yes, where she ended up fighting Zero.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a big storyline for the Golden Age setting, stories of why she was pretty much?
No, we've explained why she didn't go to Europe. Roosevelt did not want her to get killed by Germany. He did not want to risk that. She's the symbol of America.
Mm-hmm.
Going out and doing island hopping, helping out a little bit in Pacific is not as risky as going into Europe and actually fighting. So Roosevelt persuaded her to not go there Besides, there were heroes in Europe already. The Vanguard of Freedom operated there. They didn't need the Liberty Girl.
Yep.
They could handle it themselves. That's why. So it's not a big story. No, it's just mentioned in passing.
Are you going to have a team that operated in the Pacific?
There's not one that I'm aware of.
Because
Doesn't mean
that
that
was
there couldn't have been. It's just that I don't know about them yet.
true. Because that was one of the things that. Have you heard of Mutants and Masterminds?
Yes.
All right, I used to play that all the time. Second edition was my jam, and I had done a timeline, and the name the Avengers came about for the team, one of the teams that operated in the Pacific Theater in response to what happened with Pearl Harbor. And you had several other teams that operated in the Pacific. I had a whole list of them written up, and had a timeline which teams operated where. You had Pacific Theater, the home front, and then the European Theater, and I had it all organized for whenever I did the World War II setting. And so yeah, having multiple teams operating in the Pacific, basically being told where to go by Nimitz and MacArthur was the whole.
Well, that's impolite. You're telling the heroes where to go.
Well, considering the fact that most of the operations in the Pacific would be usually in conjunction with the island hopping campaigns and the like, because most of the I know in the European theater you would have supervillain teams that are the axis of evil, as I referred to it in my setting, which was Japan, Italy, Finland, and Germany, and I think Hungary was also a member of the Axis powers.
It was, yes,
and they each had their representatives on the axis of evil, as the Western nations referred to them. Since Captain Nazi is in the public domain, I did a version of him. His actual code name was the Aryan, and but spoken in German, but he was dubbed Captain Nazi by the Allied media.
Sure.
And had all this stuff planned out, and one of these days I'm thinking about scraping together the money to do a third party publication of a source book just of all of my notes.
Cool.
With my artwork to go with it.
Well, something to look forward to.
And like I said, I've been really impressed by Heroic Publishing, because you've got comics and you've got game source books that you guys have put out.
Mm-hmm. Just recently started doing that. We got another one coming up. I got to find the time to do it. We've done, as far as the RPGs go, well, I did some RPGs way back when Champions first started. The Coriolis Effect, the Great Supervillain Contest. We did the Third Enemies book for them. And some people that I worked with did some books for them. Andy Robinson did Demon and Primus. Demon and Andy's allowed us to use Demon in our comic books, so that's cool. But more recently, we did a League of Champions source book. We did a League of Enemies source book. We did the Amazing Uber Machine campaign book, and we've got a Witch Girls Incorporated campaign book on tap. I've got to find the time to do it, but that's the next one on the list.
Yeah, with Black Enchantress
and Psyche.
Yes.
Yeah, the premise of that, and just to whet people's appetite, is the Witch Girls Incorporated is a detective agency run by witches. Right? They go out and solve occult mysteries and expose occult fraud. But something big is in the wind, and Psyche and the Black Enchantress need to deal with that. So they're hiring people. Here, you guys deal with these little things while we're busy, right? And that's the premise of the campaign. The characters will be, the players will be creating low-powered, magical, occult type of characters to deal with the little cases that the witch girls at the moment don't have time to deal with.
That is awesome. That also it. It fits perfectly as a role playing campaign setup that follows along with the comics. That if you do like a living city type organized play, every now and again, if you're publishing adventures, have the adventure be something that ends up getting mentioned as an offhand comment in one of the comics.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. That's smart. I just find the creativity of it and sharing. I created this channel to share the things we love, to try to bridge the gap that has formed between the political divides. Because at one time, our pop culture united us. It brought us together. It inspired us to be greater than what we think we can do by ourselves. It's like I said, it's why Liberty Girl, I latched on to that character was because she was aspirational. She showed that these old time values have not gone out of style.
People
And
don't understand them anymore. They're not taught. That's the crux of the problem. There was a deliberate effort toward the end of the 19th century to undermine
Mhm.
the basic principles. Um, I don't know how much of this you want to get into, but people who are not familiar with him should look up the history of George Whitefield.
Mhm.
He was an English preacher
Mhm.
who did not find a particularly receptive audience in England. What he taught, along with a couple of other people that he was associated with, was the notion that man has a one-to-one relationship with God and does
Yep.
not require an intermediary.
Mhm.
That did not go over well with the Anglican Church, which is,
Or the Catholic Church for that matter.
well, let's not talk about the Catholic Church in England at that time. There
Yeah.
wasn't much of a presence there. He
Whitfield,
came
if I
to,
remember right, was also very much against slavery, wasn't he?
yes, well, he accepted it, um, but I wouldn't go so far as to say he was against it, but he didn't approve of it, as far as I knew, as far as I know. But there was nothing he could do about it. All he could do was preach the gospel. When he came to the colonies, not the
Mhm.
states yet, when he came to the colonies, he found a very receptive audience. That notion that he was teaching, the crux of the philosophy that he was presenting to them, drew thousands of people in townships that had only a few thousand people. By all accounts, Whitefield was a spellbinding orator.
Mhm.
Franklin said so. He wrote something about Whitefield, you know, basically saying what a wonderful speaker he was. And Franklin was not a particularly religious man. Um, that notion that man has a one-to-one relationship with God is the underlying foundational principle of America.
Yes.
Um, Jefferson restated it in secular terms in the Declaration of Independence.
Mhm.
When he says that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that is exactly what Whitefield was talking about, stated in secular terms instead of the religious terms that Whitefield used.
Yep. And that's Whitfield is one of the to me he was a founding father in many ways.
He
He
was.
inspired the founding fathers.
Yeah, he was the inspiration for this country. And there's a story, again, that nobody knows about these days because history is no longer taught. Before Arnold became a traitor, he took his troops, General Benedict Arnold,
Hmm.
and exhumed Whitfield's body. Whitfield had passed away 10 or so years before. And he took snippets of Whitfield's hair and gave those little snippets to his soldiers to inspire them to battle. That is how highly regarded George Whitfield was. That the best, Benedict Arnold was a hero. He was the best general Washington had. And he admired Whitfield so much that he did that, something that would be unthinkable these days. But in those days, that was not that odd.
It was called talismans, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
Uh-huh.
I'm a big historian too. It's one of my things. My people that come to my channel, there are times when I have tangents where I go off on tangents on explaining historical things, and because of it, I do deep dives every now and again. My last deep dive was on the Iran and all the stuff that we've been dealing with Iran and how long we've been kicking the can down the road, going back to the 1950s.
Well,
And
the bottom line, as far as the principles of America, is that the rights of man are not a creation of government.
nope.
They are a creation of God. They exist because man is created in the image of God.
Hmm.
And that, as Jefferson put it, governments are instituted among men to secure those rights, to secure
Exactly.
the blessings of liberty. That's
See,
the purpose government serves. And if the government moves beyond that, it is in illegitimate territory.
exactly. The
Ninety
whole
percent
point.
of what our federal government does, what our state and local governments do, is illegitimate.
Mhm.
Uh,
The whole
some
point
of
of
it
the
is necessary,
Constitution
but
wasn't to give us our rights. It was to state outright the power lies within us, not
yes,
the government. The
that is
government only governs because we, the people, give it that power. And at
correct.
any time, we can revoke that power.
Anytime the government becomes abusive of those rights, it is not only the right, it is the responsibility of the people to implement a new form of government.
Exactly.
And that's what the Liberty Girl stands for. That's what she represents, liberty.
And that to me is one of the reasons why I adore this character. It's the fact that she exists gives me hope. And I talk about the fact that on this channel, I talk about this a lot, that we need to go out there and be a positive influence in the world. We have to be the positive change we want to see. And we have to do it in such a way that inspires others to do it too. When they see us sharing what we love with others, letting people know why we care so much about Star Trek, why we care so much about Star Wars, Doctor Who, Marvel, DC, why it affects us so much to see these bad stories that doesn't understand these IPs, why it affects us so much. But I want us to focus more on what we love about it and show that love and what makes us love it so much, to get people who only know the new stuff to actually look into the older stuff that everything was built on a foundation for. By showing that love, it proves we're not the haters. We're trying to protect something that's beautiful, that inspired us to go out and be a better version of ourselves. And that to me is what Star Trek was about. That's what Star Wars was about. That's what comic books were all about before they started doing the deconstruction of these heroes. You can only deconstruct a hero so many times until you can't rebuild them. You've destroyed them. And when you came out with Liberty Girl, as I said in the back, I was in a dark place when I discovered her,
Oh,
and she gave me hope again.
oh my goodness. That's quite a compliment. Thank you. Uh,
And it's why whenever you guys do Kickstarters that has her in it, I'm there.
hmm.
I was and still am broken. I'm in pain almost 24/7. But yet, I really wish Casey could have made it, because Casey is my brother from another mother. He was born with, I think it's spina bifida, and he has stated many times that for somebody who used to be an able-bodied person who ended up getting broken and crippled, I don't I'm not dark and bitter about it. Mainly because of the fact I know that's not me. I want other people to see the world the way I see it. I want them to see the hope that I see when I see this world. I'm in the world, not of it.
Hmm.
I have hope for it because I believe in God, and God doesn't create mistakes. And everything that He creates in the end works itself out.
Serves a purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm just really in awe of how Heroic Publishing has created Liberty Girl, how it has endured for 40 years. And you've done it as an independent publisher. You you, you prove it works.
Not as
And
well as I might like, but yeah, we're hanging in. We're hanging in there.
yeah, and it's one of the reasons why it upsets me with what has happened to the big two. You
Yeah.
know, back in the day, when the big two were healthy, it was a rising tide lifted all boats. Because when the big two were healthy and people were always going to the comic book stores, comic book sales for everybody was nice and level.
Yeah, that's true.
You weren't having to hustle as hard. And the fact that the woke has taken over the big two and they're pushing the message over telling good stories, it's taken a hit. The whole industry has.
We should mention the fact that the Liberty Girl is coming into comic book stores. Um,
Oh, that is awesome.
yeah, we have the first issue of Liberty Girl Deluxe that was solicited last month. It's going to be in stores in June, assuming anybody orders it through Filbo distribution.
Let me
Um,
write that down. You said Filbo?
Filbo, yeah, Philbo distribution.
Filbo.
Philbo.
Oh, PH. Filbo distribution.
Filbo. Yeah, Liberty Girl, Flare Deluxe, Sensational G Girl Deluxe, and Fantastic Girl Deluxe will all be coming to comic book stores starting in June.
Awesome.
So maybe we'll get some people who haven't seen the characters before to pick them up and find out about them.
I hope so. I want everybody to, anytime you want to come onto my channel and talk, you have an open invitation.
Well, thank you, Richard.
I do on Wednesday nights. I do what I is referred to as a fireside chat, where we talk about current events. And as I refer to it, you always have a place by the fire.
Thank you.
And it's one of those things that, like I said, I want to get a wide variety of people to come together and have a conversation, share what we love, make people, show people that you can disagree with somebody and still be friends with them. You can still love them. That's the whole point, is that love is the one thing that binds everybody. To me, that's what God is. God exists within love. And when I died and was in the other place, I felt safe, I felt loved, and I felt at home. And that feeling, there's nothing like it.
Hmm.
And the only times I feel that way is when I'm with my friends and we're having these conversations. It's that fellowship about the things we love that brings us together. It bridges all the gaps. And it's it's inspiring to make us be the best versions of ourselves. And to me, that's Liberty Girl. She inspires. And the fact that these stories are resonating and they're selling, it proves that point to me that
I wish it would sell a little better than it does. I would love to reach as many people as possible with this. So let me encourage people who are, and I'm sure you are going to do this,
yeah,
people who are watching this video to share it, um, to like it, to make comments, you know, and to, oh gosh, subscribe to your channel and subscribe to mine. That's the only way we grow this.
oh yes. And let me put, I'm going to put, I've got links down in the description, but I'm also going to share in the chat the current Kickstarter that you've got running for Tigress.
Hmm. As I said, it's only got 3 days left to go. So it's probably the case that by the time some people see this, it'll be over. But we're planning to do a couple of Kickstarters each month.
Oh,
So you just
um,
do a search for Heroic Publishing, you'll find whatever we're doing, whether
and
it's an issue of Lady Arcane or Flare or Liberty Girl, right? There'll be something up there.
oh yeah, one of the things that I thought was each of the characters is the good girl art that you guys have of pinups. I used to make money doing that,
Ah,
and I'd go to conventions and draw people's characters. I would do pinup arts, and be able to make money while I was at the con, to be able to afford a hotel room, all my eating, and be able to pay my way home. It was great. When I was young, I was stupid enough to say, "Hey, I've got enough money to get there and buy my ticket. Let's go."
hmm.
And hopefully my son didn't hear that and won't do it too.
Those were the days. Those were the days. Yeah. It
Yeah.
used to be that you could go to the San Diego convention, get a booth and make your money back and more. It's been a
Oh
long
yeah.
time since that was possible.
And it's something, man. I just I miss the days when in the comic when you would go to these conventions, you could go and you would meet all of these famous people, and you got to find out they're just like you.
Yep.
and you could just have a blast. All right, I am posting again the Heroic Visions official YouTube channel for Heroic Publishing right there.
Yeah,
So
it's the heroic voice.
yes, Heroic Voice. Sorry. Uh, for some reason, I keep wanting to say Heroic Visions,
Oh, we have that too.
but you guys are amazing, and I'm so grateful that you took such valuable time out of your day to do this, and I'm gratefully appreciative for it.
Well, thank you for having me on, Richard. It was a pleasure.
And like I said, anytime you want to come on, just drop me a line. You're always welcome. Uh, in fact, if you ever want to do this again, I'll actually get my the people on my Discord will try to come up with a whole bunch of a list of questions
Yeah, that'd be great.
just to roll off. You wouldn't mind if we do
Oh,
champions questions too, would you?
yeah, champions questions are fine. If there are any characters you want to talk about, we've mentioned the Tigress because the Kickstarter is going. She's not a good guy. It's not just heroes. Heroes need people who are
Good
not quite
villains,
heroes to
yeah.
play off of.
That's unfortunately for me, it's a little bit harder for me to create the villains.
Uh,
Uh, though I have got some really good ones. I've got Citizen K, which his mask is an American flag. There's so much symbolism in his outfit; it's not even funny. Uh, then I've also got Al Rab, Al-Rabb, which is Arabic for the master or the lord, who is a former United States intelligence officer who went native because he got left out in the cold, and he is the American Patriots Red Skull.
ah,
Who and the funny thing is, they used to be best friends. They were in Army Basic together,
hmm
and the two of them are always fighting. It's pretty cool. Uh,
Well, as we said earlier, if you do want to do a story with the American Patriot that also features the Liberty Girl, just send me, what you want to do, and we can talk about it.
well, I'll warn you, the American Patriot, where Captain America was an officer, American Patriot was a sergeant,
Mm.
and he's like, "I ain't no damn hero." Now get
Well,
that.
you're well aware that Steve Rogers was a private.
Yes, but he was known as Captain America.
Yeah.
But yeah, he goes, "Get that damn camera on my face before I shove it up your ass sideways." But looking at you, you'd probably enjoy that. That's how he looks at the media. He's like, "Get it out of my face." No. The description for him is he is the disgruntled veteran on the team. And he's also the only seen some beach on the team. He's like, I didn't become an officer because I don't like paperwork. No, no, I don't want to be the same one. And he's always stuck having to clean messes up.
All righty. So we're going to wrap it up then.
Yes, is everybody please share this with anybody you guys can. Heroic Publishing, uh, the link is in the description, as well as here in the chat. Go check out the Kickstarter. Go check out. Hold on. I thought I had the your website already. Hold on.
It's easy enough to find. Just do a Google search for Heroic Publishing. You'll find it right away.
Yep, that's what I had to do. And here we go. You've got Facebook. They are on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily happy with the Wikipedia page, but it's there.
And here we go. HeroicMultiverse.com is the
That's the website.
official website. There we go. I'm sorry, I actually thought I'd already had it pulled
No, don't
up.
worry about it. Yeah, we're on
And
X. We're on pretty much every social media platform. We're even on Blue Sky. You know, keep a presence there. Maybe we can recruit some people from the other side.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Uh, what upsets me is the fact that we've allowed ourselves to be divided.
yeah, that's not right, and that's deliberate. Right? The powers that be retain power through division.
Hmm.
They have no
That's
incentive
why.
to bring people together.
That's why I've never liked identity politics.
Yeah,
I mean, I've known my aunt was. She came out in the late '70s, early '80s, and my family helped with a lot of her getting accepted in the deep South back then. If I'm not sure, you're in California, right?
yeah, Southern California.
All right. I don't know if you've been in here in the deep South of South Carolina and North Carolina and
Nope, I
Georgia.
visited Atlanta. That's and Florida, right? Not what you would call the deep South. I've never been there. Beautiful country, I'm told.
It is. It's gorgeous. But she came out back then, left her husband, and we've had to deal with a lot for that.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So yeah, I've been exposed to that lifestyle and people in that lifestyle. They're wonderful people who just wanted to live their lives and be left the hell alone.
Yeah,
And they did not want to be pigeonholed as just being their sexuality. They wanted to be accepted for who they were, not what they were. And that is how I have lived my life. I've known, well, I finally have met my second female to male trans person, and I have known multiple male to female trans people, and it doesn't bother me.
hmm.
And but I've also unfortunately ended up meeting a lot of trans trenders, the people who
Yeah. Pretend.
mhm, are worse. They've been convinced they are,
Yeah,
and that scares me because I've seen what happens when people are convinced of something like that, and they go down that route, and then they realize they can't undo it, and they end themselves.
hmm,
And I've had that happen way too many times in my life, and had to put dear beloved friends. So
well,
yeah,
this isn't how I wanted to end this interview,
oh
but
no, no, I am so sorry, but like I said, we've got to get to a point to where we can see each other's humanity again and be what we used to be. You
the
know.
principle that undergirds that is that everyone has an aspect of divinity in him,
Hmm.
right? No matter who you are or what you are, God is in you, right?
Yep.
And that's what people need to understand. That's
And
where humanity comes from.
God is love,
Yeah.
and when you act in love, you are closer to God. You can feel God's presence in your daily life, and that to me is how we're going to fix this. And
Okay, Richard, that is a good note to end on, I
yeah,
think. Thank you
well,
again for having me on today.
thank you so much for taking this time. You don't know how grateful I am. I really am very grateful. And please, everybody, like, subscribe, go check out uh, Heroic Voices. Go check out their website, the Heroic Multiverse. Please back these guys. The work is amazing, and the universe that they have created and are creating is it's a tapestry of beauty, and it's filled with inspiration and fun. It is so much fun. They've got the jokes fit. They're not forced.
When we
They
do jokes, right?
they're
Yeah.
really good. The humor doesn't come across as slapstick. It's just unadulterated fun. It's what comic books used to be, and what they it can be again. So please, guys, go out there and check this stuff out.
And have a wonderful weekend.
Yes, and y'all be blessed. And remember, none of you are alone. Nobody is alone, and you are most definitely loved, even if it is
All right.
only by
Richard,
you.
I got to go.
You have a blessed day now.